Hello, my good friends. You see, we are the Africans, especially the sub Saharan Africans. Did they have any concept of religion before the advent of Christianity and Islam in Africa? In what sense can we say that the Africans were actually religious before Christianity and Islam find their way in this part of Africa? Now, we need to understand that basically, if we define religion fundamentally as a belief in the supreme being, then we can actually say that the Africans were religious. But in the sense of this complexity and the activities that follow it today, in the Christian and Islamic religion, I can tell you for sure that the Africans knew nothing and they were not religious in that sense. But that doesn't mean that they did not have any concept of God. In fact, religiosity in Africa came to kill the African spiritual system because the Africans were highly spiritual. They were not religious. They were highly spiritual. In fact, spirituality permeated every aspect of the African lives from the beginning to the end, from agriculture to trading to season to family to everything about the African life before the advent of Christianity. In fact, generally before the Judeo-Christian worldview came into Africa, Africans were highly spiritual. So that is what we need to know, the difference, that we were spiritual but not religious. Now, I want to discuss this topic in series and I would like to break it down. In fact, there are some jargons that I invented myself to enhance my conversation. And I will want you to actually give me feedback. So, if the Africans were not religious, now how did they practice their spirituality? In what way did they relate with the immortals? There's a jargon I invented, like I said earlier. I call it the spiritual matter. The Africans did not access God in a vacuum. It was indeed an open, spiritual system where individuals had the opportunity to explore depending on their own experience and understanding. The spiritual matter, for example, were those physical things, the material things that the African used to access the spiritual world. In fact, this spiritual matter were actually inherited. They could be inherited, they could be invented, they could be created, they could be discovered. In my own family, for example, I'm from Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria, and we have a very deep history of spiritual system. When a man dies, if he has children, when he dies, this spiritual matter are shared among the children of that man. This spiritual matter enhance the ability of these people, of the children, to actually communicate with their ancestors and access the supreme. And that's it. Therefore, like I said, I'm going to cut this video here and we'll continue in series. Like I said, in series. We can't have it all right now. So subscribe to my channel, like my videos, comment. I want to see your feedback. And then I truly want you to share and tell your friends about my page. Thank you.